Hi, I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, and in this video I'm going to walk you through one of the simplest projects you can ever do with your design software and CNC router that has a ton of meaning, will last a lifetime. This is something my grandson drew up for his mom. There we go. On a piece of paper. And so what we did is we converted it into a bitmap, converted it into vectors, put it out on the CNC router, and literally like 10 minutes we had this project done. Now I want to tell you something. This is all free. It's super fast, super easy, and it lasts a lifetime because a kid made it for their mom. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to just start right off with Gabriel so we can talk a little bit about this whole idea and what is so cool about this. And then I'm going to walk you through the whole process of taking an image, we're going to put it in a Vectric, then we're going to design it up, and we're going to put it on the router, show you how I got these colors, we're going to use Oramask, all that good stuff. This works for any software that can work with a bitmap and trace it. So I'm going to be using Vectric. The point is, you can do this with anything. So let's just start at the beginning and then we'll walk through this whole process. By the time you're done, you will know how to do this and you'll be doing it by the end of the day. So this is Gabriel. Say hi, Gabe.
Hi.
And Gabe drew up a little picture for Mom. Show us what we did. Isn't that cool? He just wrote Mom love, Mom love. Wait, there's Gabe right there and some hearts. Now let's show them what we did on the CNC router together. Where is it?
Okay.
Yeah, where is it? Look at that. We engraved exactly this on the router. And he's going to give that to his mom. So here's the deal. Gabe, he likes to draw. I keep telling him he's going to be, what are you going to be?
Artist.
Artist, that's right. And you're going to be a millionaire artist, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's the way it works. Okay, so just want to show you here just how cool this stuff is. I mean, okay, so let's look at this little part of the heart right here. See, he kind of ran off the heart right there. Look at that. Picked it right up. And then we got Mom. So Mom was a little, oh no, it's that Mom right there. A little bit tight. Let's see. Love, I mean, it's dead nuts. Let's see if we can find some other cool stuff. Okay, so here's that heart. It's got kind of that straight little hook, but there's the heart. All right, so what I did was I took a piece of paper. I knew my material size was going to be 4.5 by 9 inches wide. And by the way, this is engineered flooring, just extra pieces. And are you trying to take that away from me? No, wait, I got to talk to him. I got to tell him what we did. And then, yeah, I just used a 60-degree V-bit. And you see a little bit of the plastic roll up right there. This has a plastic coating on it, this engineered flooring. So one of the modifications I had to make was I moved these two apart just a little bit right there. So you can see there's a little more of a gap there. And Gabe is clearly Gabe. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's very simple, and you don't have to do a lot of cleanup, right? You're just transferring what they did over to something like that. So it makes a good Mother's Day or Father's Day package. So what would you say, Gabe, about this?
I like it, and I want to design like he does for us.
Yeah. And so we're going to give that to Mom tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So fast and easy. I'll take you through the whole process. The first thing I did was take a picture of what Gabe drew. So let's just get it flipped right. 1, 2, 3. I just laid it on the table, took a picture. And then what I would do is go over to Vectric and start a job. So create a new job. I know the project size, which is 9 by 4.5, and it is 0.4 thick. And I'm going to go off the lower left corner and click OK. All right, so we got a project laid out there. First thing we're going to do is bring that image in to Vectric so we can start using the bitmap tracing feature. Under File Operations, The very top row is the last icon. It's a little folder with a little blue arrow coming out of it. It says bitmap, import bitmap. Click that. And then go get your file. So I took the picture from my phone, I emailed it to myself, which is the old-fashioned way, because I don't have an Apple where I can just read it, and I don't have my devices connected, so I think I'm going to do that. Anyway, we'll go to the Downloads folder, where I downloaded it from my email, and import. And there it is. So first thing I want to do is get rid of all this brown stuff. This is one of the great features of Vectric. I only need the white area. So what we're going to do is draw a rectangle around the love mom, or mom love. So click the rectangle, and basically inside the white area, let's see, it looks like this corner is a little lower than that corner. So we'll start over here just inside the white area, and we're going to draw our rectangle while I'm holding the left mouse button all the way over and just inside of the brown area. So now we've got a rectangle, and what we're going to do is close that. Hold shift down and select the image. Now we have the rectangle and the image selected, and then under edit objects, the third row down all the way over to the right is crop bitmap. Click that puppy. And what that's going to do is going to chop out all that wasted image. And there it is. So cool. All right, let's just grab those two. So I'm going to just click right up here and just come over and cross over. And now the line is selected, but the bitmap isn't. So I'm going to hold shift down and select the bitmap too. And then I'm going to just click both of them again and hold shift down while I grab the inner button right up here and expand it out to the size of the project. Roughly. It's a little off center, but that's okay. So I'm roughly there, and we are going to go and get this centered up. So we'll go to Transform Objects, and we're going to go to the Align Selected Objects button, click that, and click the top middle button. And what it's going to do is center all this stuff over here. So click, and there it is. We'll close this. We have to trace this bitmap. So what we're going to do is click the bitmap, not worry about the rectangle that's there. In fact, we can get rid of that rectangle. We just used it to crop the bitmap. So I'm going to click that and hit delete. And now we'll click the bitmap. And then we'll go do the draw vectors or create vectors and trace bitmap, the little folded paper airplane looking thing. If somebody knows what the heck this icon is, please tell me. Put it down in the comments. It looks like a folded paper airplane. That's the playful side, I guess. Anyway, we click that and you see the picture has grayed out. And Vectric has picked out what it thinks is the best grayscale for this. So we're going to zoom in a little bit and we're going to see that it's pretty lumpy in here, but we come in closer and it gets really lumpy. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to let Vectric do its magic with what it thinks it is the best setting. So we're going to click preview, then we'll hit apply, and then we'll hit close. Now we'll go up to the layer area, click that, click the light bulb on bitmap layer, turn that off, and we want to make sure that layer 1 is highlighted right up here. We've got that, and there is, this is almost done at this point, but we're just going to do some cleanup. We want to see if there's some noise in here. So like right here, we've got a little bit of a vector right there by the E. So I just clicked from the left and held my left mouse button down and came over to the right, engulfed that little spot and just hit delete and got rid of it. Let's go look for some more. There's one by the M, delete. Any more? I mean, this thing's almost done, but we do need to do a little bit of fix up. The thing is, when this is a kid's drawing, and this is going to be engraved with a fine bit, by the way, we will be using a 60-degree V-bit on this. The weird little lumpiness that you find in here won't quite show up, but there is one other issue we have to work on. We'll get to that in a minute. The first thing is we want to get things adjusted. So like you see right here, mom and love are just too close, so we're going to move those. So I'm going to highlight love and just scooch it out. I think I'll highlight Mom and scooch her in a little bit. There we go. Get a little space there. I think the G is a little bit close, so we'll just bump that up just a tad and up. Stay with the direction of the flow. Here's another one. Move that M out. And we'll scoot that one out just a little bit. I don't want to distort this too much. Okay, so that's pretty good. So now we've got another issue that I want you to be aware of. Vectric is going to create virtually a bunch of corner nodes. Nodes are transition points for the router bit that Vectric will see as a transition. So the way you see your nodes is you select the line and hit the N button for node, and you can see there's a whole bunch of black nodes, some blue nodes. Blue nodes are curves, black nodes are corners. Every black node, that bit is going to dive in and out of the project, and that's what gives you rough edges in your lettering. And here's how you fix that. It's so quick and simple. First of all, we're going to get rid of all the black nodes. So we are going to, oh, I see something up here. See this little spot up here? You want to be aware of that too. It's not going to hurt anything, but I'm just going to hit escape and then delete that. It's not going to do anything because it's off the project. We won't select it, but we don't want that noise in here. Okay, so we are going to select, I'm going to try this. I haven't done this before. I'm selecting everything and then I hit N for node. Oh, perfect. Now I just learned something. And we have a buttload of black nodes. What we're going to do is select again. So come down to the lower left corner or the upper right corner. Let's try that. Or lower right corner or upper right corner or whatever. So I selected everything and all the nodes, they turned red. That means they're all selected. And in one fell swoop, we're going to push the S button. And every corner node has now converted into a curve node. So the router bit will not dive in and out of the project. It'll leave your letters much cleaner. Not that these letters are very clean. And that's about it. You know, if we have something that we just want to fix up, like this little corner right there, you can click it, hit N, and go in and delete a node or two. So we just hover over it and hit D, and that got rid of that. Let's see, just some other ones. The E. Let's take a look at the image for a minute. I'm going to hit escape to get out of node mode. I want to take a look at the image and see what this looks like. And I'm going to turn that layer off. So you can see that's pretty much what Gabe has here. There's all these kooky little lumps along here. So I'm going to virtually leave this alone. This is what makes this so stinking easy. You can sell this project for 20 bucks. You'll have it edited in a couple of minutes. Now I am going to fix one spot right here. This is pretty close. The bit might cross in or might get a little breakage right here as it's cutting. So what I want to do is just give it a little more strength. So I'm going to select the M, hit node, and I'm just going to bring these guys in a little bit. And we're going to delete that one. If it wants to delete, I hover right over it. There we go. And we'll drag that one in. And you see, oops, I grabbed the flag instead. These flags, you can see you can move your letters around and do some different things. So we're going to drag that in a little bit. Just give it a little more room. And it still retains the shape. Now we might have created a black node in here. Nope, we're good. I want you to see something before I move on. You see, like the heart has got that little hook out there. This is the way Gabe draws his hearts. He starts right there and comes around and comes out and ends it. Because you see it there, you can see it here. It's there, not as clear. It's there. So Gabe has a very specific way of drawing hearts. We are going to hold that here. Okay, we're done. I want to say something though. When I get into projects like this that are very personalized to Mom, and it takes me back to I guess I'm going to tell you a little story about life and why what you do as a creator can make such a long-term difference in life, right? A project like this. This reminds me of my wife, Barbara, who passed away in 2011 from ovarian cancer. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can find her. I'd like you to meet Barbara. Let's take a look. I want to see if I remember. She probably had her pictures. There she is. I want to tell you a story. This is Barbara, my wife. I married her in 2004. She had 2 kids, and I have 1. And life was pretty awesome with her, right? I married her when I was 40 years old. It was my second marriage. The first one was a bomb and didn't last very long. But the point, I don't know. I guess first of all, you see pictures behind her, or cards behind her on the wall. This was just after her 40th birthday in 2008. And shortly after this picture, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Now, Barb had already gone through breast cancer and had a double mastectomy before I had known her. Sorry, this is kind of taking me back. When she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, life came to a standstill for us. When this kind of stuff happens, life just stops. Your focus is on the demon, the health issue at hand. And for the next 3 years, obviously, life was hell for her, hell for me, hard. I want to say hard, and hard with the kids. All that beautiful hair fell out 3 times. She went through 3 different rounds of chemo. And at 5:15 in the morning on October 27th, 2011, she passed away. Her kids, Victoria and Tyler. Victoria was 13, 14. Tyler was 18, 19. We're left without a mom, right? My daughter had someone else, but Barbara was her mom, like technically her mom. But as hard as it was after losing Barbara, I've come to a point where it was a gift losing her. Very difficult being alone. And her death kind of woke me up, started the wake up process. Because our dreams that we had for the future as the kids would grow up were obviously not going to happen. And started to think, what am I doing with my life? When I was healing from Barbara, I spent a lot of time away from things. I became pretty addicted to camping and canoeing, hiking, just to get away from life to process the loss. You know, when somebody dies, they take a part of you with them. And there's this big void that's there. A year later, my mom had a stroke, and I had to start caregiving again. I was still emotionally devastated over Barb, so that was that much harder on me. And Mom passed away 2 months later, and then not 2 weeks after she passed away, my best friend Bob told me that he was diagnosed with lung cancer. And he was in advanced stages. There was nothing they could do. It was about 2 weeks before Bob passed away, the last time we were hanging out together. And we'd gone to the park, and he just said, Garrett, if I could do it again, I would have lived in Sedona, Arizona. And he lived in Cincinnati at the time. Cincinnati, Ohio. But when he said that, it really went through me because I could see the regret in his eyes. I could hear it in his voice. I could feel the disappointment that he suddenly lost all opportunity to live his dreams. And it impacted me so much that in that moment I told myself I will never, ever say those words on my deathbed. And from that moment on, work became a secondary aspect of my life, ahead of life experience, or behind life experience. Life experience became number one, and suddenly I was decided to do things my way. And I started quitting work. I mean, I quit work for a year at a time and went and experienced life. In the last 10 years, I've done more than most people ever do in their entire lifetime. And after I played for 8 years, experiencing all the stuff that I didn't do through my life that I wanted to, but didn't because I wasn't supposed to, had to work. I can only have 2 weeks of that kind of experience in a lifetime, a year. Family and friends, you shouldn't go out and do that kind of stuff. You're supposed to work, get a job, work hard, save a little money, and be in debt and a mortgage, and wait until retirement. I lived over the next 8 years doing so many amazing things. I spent a summer hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. A lot of people haven't heard of what that is, but that's like the sister trail to the Appalachian Trail. The Pacific Crest Trail goes through the mountains of California, Oregon, and Washington. 2,650 miles of hiking for 6 months, living in the dirt and meeting amazing people. But after all that life experience of travel, hiking, seeing things I always wanted to see, doing things I always wanted to do, I got to a point of, I'm done. Now what? And that inevitably led to a year of feeling lost. I knew that there was something for me to do. And I just kind of sat around, depressed. I didn't know what I was supposed to do, but I knew it was to make a difference somehow, some way. I wanted to help a million people. And somewhere along the line, I came across CNC. And all of a sudden, all my knowledge and the spiritual journey I went on over the last 10 years came together in a very meaningful thing for me. And now I live with intense purpose, teaching you this amazing creative world of CNC, and hoping that what I share somehow makes you aware that what it is a spiritual, creative state of mind when you're doing this. That's why I just tell people, if you're sitting on the fence, just go do it. If you're feeling the pull, do it. Stop worrying about money and start worrying about life. Because someday, we can't turn around. Someday will be the last opportunity. We don't get a second chance at life. We don't get a second ride on this apple and say, okay, I didn't do it the first time, I'll do it this time. One shot is all we get. So, the moral of the story, and why I am showing you this amazingly beautiful woman who lost her life at 44 years old. Young, beautiful, ready to go, is because things can happen in life that we just don't expect. And sometimes when those things happen, they stop everything in our tracks. in life. And sometimes, like Bob, you'll just sit and regret and say, why didn't I do that? The gift that Barbara gave me was a wake-up call. Bob's gift was telling me what that wake-up call was, to not have regrets in life. The ultimate moral of what I have just shared with you is we get one ride on this apple. One ride at life. That's it. And the question that I just put out there for you is, have you lived your life that you have wanted to live? You. Not what your family wants you to live or what your companies want you to live. But have you lived the life that you want to live? Have you sung your song is maybe a good way of putting it. So with that, we're going to get back to Mom, who Barbara was. She was a mom to 3 kids. She was a rock to me. And she gave me the biggest gift I ever had. The gift of awakening and living life. I'm eternally grateful for her for giving that to me. And I hope that some way this little story can give to you the same gift that she and Bob gave to me. I love you, Barbara. You're beautiful. I miss you, but I know your spirit is there. Okay, well, with that, let's get back to Mom. Love, life, the essence of what this gift is. Such a simple project, so meaningful. Whew. Okay, we are going to do toolpaths. The editing we did was very simple. It would take you 3 minutes to do it. The toolpath. When we switch over to toolpaths, we're just going to V-carve this whole thing. So we'll select V-carve. Going to select our bit, which is a 60-degree V-bit. And we're going to come down. We're going to name this thing Gabe Mom. Then we're going to calculate it after we select things. Calculate. We're going to change the color to black because I know that's what I'm painting it. And we run it. And there it is. It's that simple. Now all we have to do is generate cheat code. So what we do is we select the toolpath and we close that. Let's just see how long this will take to run. 6 minutes. I must have this set pretty low. This should be done in 3 minutes. Let's see why I'm at 6 minutes. Select the toolpath, go into edit. I got a feed of 35 inches. Let's see, step over, final step over pass, clearance step over 20%. I could probably just amp up that feed rate to 50 inches per minute. And let's calculate again. Look at the time. 5 minutes. I can go with that. 5 minutes is nothing on a CNC router. I will click save. And we're going to say save the toolpath. And we select our directory. So I got to put up my flash drive. I don't have my flash drive with me. So we will do that in a moment when we get it down to the CNC. So I'll go into there and I will create that. It's called Gabe's Mom. Save. It's ready to go. Let's head down to the router. It's time to prep the project piece. I am using engineered flooring. There's extra pieces that I had. So we have to trim off the tongue and groove area. It's 5 inches wide and the project is going to be 4.5 when it's done. So cut a 1/4 inch off of each side. Then we have to get rid of the little tongue and groove area at the end, and then cut it to length. This is finished length at 9 inches. Once that's done, it's time to sand off the little chips that were made and just round out the corners just a little bit. Now you see in the back of this, it's got a little bit of a flaw. That doesn't matter. It's the front of the sign that is seen. Mom is not going to care. She cares about the message. So we want to dust it off really good so we can use the Oramask to protect the surface for painting. Now Oramask is used to machine through or cut through. You'll see how that works in just a moment. And what I'm doing is taking a razor blade and just leaving a little bit of extra material around the edge and cut it to the rough size. Put the razor blade away for now. We're going to use it again. So Oramask is called Oramask 813. This is amazing stuff, and you really have to use it. There is a link down in the description for this stuff. And you peel it away. It's very thin, and what I do is I just take a little bit off the edge so I can get it lined up on my project. And just press the edge down a little bit, just to get it started. And then I'll slowly pull it up and grab the edge, but this time I missed and it just fell right down on the project, but it fell down quite nicely, so thank goodness, because once it sticks, it sticks. It's really good stuff. I'll take the back of the razor blade and just get it started. Now what you want to do is probably get a plastic scraper. That works much better, but I didn't have one, so razor blade. So I'll just rub it down with my fingers and a little bit more with the razor blade. And you see there's a couple of air bubbles in there. They're really easy to get rid of. Take a sharp object like the razor blade and just put a little cut in it. Not a cut, just a hole actually, and press the bubble down. You might have to do it a couple of times. And it works really well. Once we have that, all you have to do is just trim the Oramask off, all the excess, right down to the size of the project piece. And there we have it. There's a couple more bubbles I have to get out, but we are ready to set it on the router. Now you see on the router bed I have a grid. I'm going to place this right on the grid. Now grids are really important for easy setups. And clamps. Right, I've made those clamps. If you are interested in clamps, then there will be a link down below to show you how to make your own instead of buying them. So I've aligned this right on the grid. And you see the corners right at the grid on the Y and on the X axis. And all I have to do is move the bit up 4 inches, because I have a 2-inch by 2-inch grid, and then I zero the machine out and it's already set. So we're going to get the 60-degree V bit out. Now this is the bit that I really like to use. You can see there's a little bit of an edge on that. That's actually like a nice cutting blade, as opposed to your standard 60 that has a flat edge on it. This bladed V cuts so much better than the flat bits. There's a link for that down below in the description. Zero off at the top of the material, and then tell the machine to move up 4 inches from the home position. It's already at 0 in the Y direction, which is side to side. So look at my UGS. I'm going to type in the command line to move up X 4 inches. And now the bit is directly over that corner. Just go back to my software and I will set my X to 0. It's ready to run. All we have to do is hit the play button and let the project run out. Now this took 5 to 6 minutes to run. So simple, and I just love this project, right? Because it's a child's handwriting coming to life in a permanent way. Now you can see how it's cutting with the Oramask. Let's do a close-up. You see it cuts through, it leaves a little lip on the Oramask, but then it comes back and cuts it away. Now this little small M, it did pull it up a little bit. Not important. I'll push it back down before I paint it. You see these letters are less than an inch in size. And there it is. 6 minutes later, the project is done. Almost looks good enough with the Oramask on it. Gives it an interesting color, but we are going to paint it black, the letters, after we dust it off a bit. I like to use the Rust-Oleum, the 15-minute dry time. You can get this at Lowe's, the big box stores. It comes out pretty heavy. Just paint the edges, and you see right there, I just didn't paint a little spot. Mom is not going to see it. She's going to see the message. There's a little spot that I missed, so one quick blast takes care of that. I like this paint because it dries fast, but it comes out fast as well. And here's how it comes out with the Oramask. All you do is just peel it away, you work it up. It's not that hard. Sometimes you have to pull it off in the right direction so it doesn't rip and force you to pull it off multiple times from different directions. And then you can just peel off the little pieces with your fingernail. You don't need the little hook that they sell with it. This comes up easy. There's a sign. Now we have one more little thing to do to it. Maybe I missed that spot right there. A little bit of miss here and there. We're going to put the hooks on. I use little Gancho's hooks, number 214. Got them at Lowe's. Drill a couple of pilot holes to start the screws. Get them started by hand. And then I'll take a little screwdriver or something I can stick through the eyelet and crank it down a little bit. The last thing is get a piece of twine. This stuff is super cheap. Get that at Lowe's as well. Cut off a piece that's a foot 16 inches. I like to fold it over to stick it through the eyelet so it doesn't fray. I'll do that to both sides. And then we'll tie about 3 knots on it and trim the excess off. That's it. A beautiful little project that a kid can give to their mom that's going to last a lifetime. Isn't it amazing? Such a simple gift. And can you imagine how much meaning this really has and the lifetime value that it has? That's the beauty of being a CNCer. You can create amazing stuff, and it really comes down to creating meaningful stuff. So keep it simple. You don't have to make it complicated to make a buck, right? You can sell this as a meaningful item for $20. And this costs you next to nothing because it's all waste material. Remember that Oramask stuff. The stuff is amazing. There's a link down below, as I said before, where you can get that stuff. And for that router bit, there's several links down in the description. You want to go take a look. If you're brand new to CNC routers, then subscribe to this channel because this is the kind of stuff I teach. How to get started with your CNC router, how to make cool projects, and how to make a buck off of them. If this video is helpful, give me a thumbs up and a comment, especially if you have a project idea that you can share with other brother and sister CNCers. If that's down there, you can help them come up with some cool projects that they can make for friends, family, or sell. I'm Garrett, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to share such a cool, meaningful project with you that is so easy, and the story of life that Barbara taught me and hopefully I have given to you. Go live life, be creative, and make amazing things, and get happy.